Hello everyone, I'm Polaris of Vendetta Metal Magazine, and now I'm here together with Ville Hovey of BLACKSTAR Halo. How is it going, Ville?
Fine, thank you.
That's very good. So Ville, please tell me, you're the singer of BLACKSTAR Halo, and how is it going in the band these days?
Well, the band is going pretty well. Thank you. We're just trying to complete our second album, which is now entitled The Siren. So, it should have been out during this year, though. But now that we're making everything by ourselves, which is essential, vital, it'll take a little longer to finish it. So, sometime next year.
And you had some kind of fundraising campaign for that, right? How did that pan out, and how did you get that idea to actually do that?
Well, we didn't have any money. First round didn't go that well, though we had enough money to have a single, though. But I don't know if that's the end result, though. We're starting a new round now, so I hope it'll bring us more money. So you fucking donate us. You.
So you said that's the second round now that you're trying the fundraising, and do you think that's a very normal thing to do these days, or?
I think it's very normal. Not that I know anything about the life in internet, but it's normal. It's normal because, well, if you don't have a record company behind your back, a huge one, then you just have to pay all by yourself, and that is a little pricey.
Well, which basically leads me to the next question. You are without a record company, as you also just said, and but you actually managed to make a video for your song "Illuminated" of the same album, first BLACKSTAR Halo album. And so, why did you come up with that idea, and how did you actually manage to finance that?
Well, we had good friends. Well, we're actually paying that still, the video and the record. Well, we actually have a record company by our own, which means that we just have to find the money somewhere, from our friends or some other way. I don't know. That's why we're trying to raise a founding.
But when you say you have a record company on your own, what does that exactly mean?
Well, the band, actually there's two bands in our record company. Our guitar player and his brother, actually, and their friend from another band. It's called Peekaboo Primates.
Okay, guys,
they just Peekaboo Primates. They just thought it would be easier to releasing a record to just have a record company. It's not. That's just a name, a record company.
Okay, fair enough. So in the end, it doesn't really mean that you find any support or
no.
So, and then it means also that the video you finance yourselves in the end, and who did you hire to actually film the video? Because after all, it looks very professional and very, very good.
It was a school friend of mine, Ville Salminen, and another Ville, actually. Anyway, two Villes from Obscure. They do short films and commercial stuff anyway. We just asked them if they're willing to do a video for us. They've done some videos for bands anyway, so they knew what they were going to do. And then the guitar player of ours who who's mixing and does everything. Did record our album, and is now editing it as we speak. Has a friend who did the Iron Sky movie and all the special effects in that. So we asked him if he was willing to help us a little if he had the time. Of course, it cost a lot, but that's why it looks so good, actually.
Yeah, fair enough. And are you planning on making another video for the, what's it called, Sirens? Siren album? The Siren? Are you planning on making a new video for that?
Yeah, we're planning actually making 2 videos, but that's just the plan. We'll see if we have the money.
One of the good things these days, you said also that you're recording or editing a lot of the stuff yourself. Are you actually really also recording everything yourself, or have you ever been to like a real record studio?
The first album, Illuminated, we actually recorded drums in a real studio in Jyväskylä. I don't remember the name of the studio anyway, but from that point, everything else was recorded by ourselves: guitars, vocals, bass, and a lot of it was edited as well by ourselves. And now we've recorded everything by ourselves, including drums. Also, but this one guy really helped us with the microphone settings with the drums. But we've recorded everything and edited everything.
And when you think about, like, it's very common also these days to record your stuff yourself and so on. Do you think that since now everybody can really record something at home, does that contribute to the improvement of the standards in the overall metal scene, do you think, or to the contrary?
Contrary, absolutely. Because, well, now that you can, that's why you do it. And it's a lot cheaper, of course. You can, download the necessary equipment from internet, which are not, well, you're not qualified to use that as well as the real pros, really, unless you've done it hundreds of times before and you call yourself a pro as well. But those who work in those real studios really know their equipment, have the spaces for recording drums. It sounds more natural. Of course, you can have samples on everything, and that's probably what everybody is doing. But you just don't have the atmosphere or the last touch.
Are you now referring to the sound or to the actual music?
Well, both. Of course, if you've done it 20 years and recorded different types of bands, you have some sort of a overall view, how it should sound, how it could sound actually, and should sound, which is a negative thought. But as a producer and a recorder, which you probably are in a real studio, you can really help the band a lot to give them a clear views on things and different type of views, because of course you're just limited to look your music from one perspective.
Yes. And when you think about the when you think about the overall development of the music itself, so could it be that self-recording, self-producing may actually really kind of bring new twists into, let's say, black metal or thrash metal or something like that?
That's a tricky question. Of course it...
Or accelerate that process, perhaps.
Tricky question. Good question. I don't know. Well, what it does, it makes the variety of metal music. You just have more everything.
Have you ever been in touch with bigger record labels at all? Or, since you've had the video, or you have the video, and you have, in my opinion, a very kind of well-produced and very kind of poppy... Overproduced album.
Of course it is.
Of course it is. And also kind of very poppy songs in a way that stick to your brain, really. Has there never been a label which has been interested in you?
Nope.
And why do you think is that?
Too little views in MySpace.
MySpace, isn't that dead these days?
How the fuck I know? Anyway, yeah, too little gigs. Just nobody knows about us enough. Because I think the record labels really tend to these days look the kind of, they wait for that the beginners really grow their reputation by themselves, so they just don't have to build the band from the beginning. And that's us, and we're too old.
But when you say that, doesn't that kind of lead the whole send a demo to a record label thing completely ad absurdum?
Well, I think it always has been, but no and yes. Well, of course, now that you have 1 million bands in one city, who the hell does have the time to listen all of them, or even get the slightest interest on anything, on everything? The competition is so huge. Everybody wants the same thing. It's quite impossible, but doable.
Yeah, have you actively pursued finding a record label, sending your record into to record labels and so on? And
every time we've done a demo or whatever kind of record, sure. But
have you gotten a response or?
Yeah, negative responses every time. I don't know if I had the answer for that. Maybe we wouldn't be sitting here.
Nice one. Okay, fair enough. What about gigs? Do you play a lot of gigs? And do you think it's hard or not so hard to find gigs these days? Or you said you don't play that many gigs? Why is that? Just because you don't find any places to play?
Because we're old and we have families and we have jobs. That's the real reason, actually. It's not that hard to find gigs, but we have expenses and we would love to cover it by doing gigs, and that's not always possible. So we have to really select the smartest gigs, actually.
But you also played in Russia, right?
Yeah.
When was that and how was that? And also in Estonia, I believe you played, in Copenhagen too, was it? And so what were the overall experiences in these gigs outside of Finland?
Well, of course it's fun to travel. Copenhagen was kind of one-off show. And of course we had to pay for it to get there. But we saw it as a chance to make new gigs, actually, if somebody would be interested in us after the gig. And so there were, but we'll see. It was about a year ago or 2 years ago. Russia, we've actually played there. It was second time. And it gets better and better every time. It was founded by some. Actually, why am I starting to talk about this? Because I don't remember how it went. We were playing in Finland first, and there were a Russian band there playing too, supporting Amorphis.
Which band was that?
Google it.
Something.
Yeah, something. and then we went to St. Petersburg to play a gig there. It had something to do with Russian-Finland friendship thing, whatever. Don't remember, I'm sorry. It was good though. Best venue I've ever played in. Yeah, full house.
And in Estonia as well, or?
Estonia as well, and that was a one-off as well. There is a little BLACKSTAR Halo fan group or whatever it's called. Through that we went there to play one gig.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
And but BLACKSTAR Halo is not your only band that you're playing in and that you have played in. And when you now think back in time a little bit, BLACKSTAR Halo used to be Downfall. And so why did you change the name, and what changed after having become BLACKSTAR Halo?
Well, we just thought that Downfall just did everything it could. I was singing the last few years in Downfall. I was not the original singer. And the new songs we had before our last demo were so different from the previous songs that used to be for Downfall, that we just decided that we should do something about it. And there were at least a dozen other Downfalls in the world. So if you Google Downfall, we weren't the first to pop up. And that was actually one reason why we changed the name. And we figured that the name should be something that is very visual, and something that if you Google it, it will come up first. And well, we could, start from point zero. We could do everything.
No reputation to lose.
No reputation to lose. No, and nothing. Just new songs, new name, clean table.
And Ville, so what would you say as a kind of overall summary and last question to young bands and bands that are just starting up now and recording their own stuff? Any wise words to them? How to make them stand out, for example?
And again, if I knew the answer to that, we would be sitting in a pool of champagne. No, just don't imitate, just do whatever is natural for you from your heart. It always pops out somehow. You can always hear that.
I agree. You hear the man.
And drink whiskey.
Whiskey is also always good. Ville, thank you very much.
Danke.